At Adaptive Strategies Group, our approach to partnerships, whether with government officials, internal teams, or external stakeholders, goes far beyond mere transactions. We're not just here to engage. We're here to rebuild relationships, remove barriers, and create pathways to success. By working across all levels of your organization, we align internal teams and external partners, ensuring everyone is empowered to move forward with a unified vision. We know that real impact requires more than just monitoring activities or providing updates. It's about fostering collaboration, driving engagement, and building lasting connections that propel your mission forward. With Adaptive Strategies Group, you can say goodbye to the stories of the past and embrace a future built on action. Contact us today to start building relationships that last and strategies that deliver real results. Learn more by visiting askasg.org.
As we prepare for a storm, it's natural to feel a mix of anxiety and anticipation. In these moments, using breathing techniques can help us remain calm and focused. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold your breath for a count of 4. Then slowly exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. Next, try box breathing. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and pause for another count of 4. For progressive muscle relaxation, tense each muscle group as you inhale, then release the tension as you exhale. Mindful breathing involves paying attention to your breath and the sensation of each inhale and exhale. Visualization can enhance relaxation by imagining a calming scene, such as a peaceful beach or serene forest. Incorporating these exercises into your routine can make a significant difference in maintaining calm and focus. For more tips on stress management and relaxation techniques, visit mentalhealth.gov.
Welcome back to our disaster preparedness series. Today, we're diving into essential tips to keep you safe during emergencies. But first, let's talk about being demure. What does that mean? It's all about staying calm, composed, and prepared. Create an emergency kit with essentials like water, non-perishable food, medications, and a flashlight. Know your escape routes from home, work, and school. And familiarize yourself with local evacuation centers. Anchor heavy furniture, secure water heaters, and reinforce windows. Create a family communication plan, deciding who to contact and where the meetup spot is. Follow local news, weather alerts, and official channels. Share your demure disaster preparedness tips using our hashtags Stay Demure hash, Demure Disaster Planning hash, Demure ASG.
Named Don't Raise Statistics is making strides. Day after day, we're bombarded with statistics on a multitude of topics. Gun violence, sex trafficking, child abuse, divorce rates, failing education, financial crisis, and more. But where does it end? Don't Raise Statistics believes that the cycle can be broken. It is our belief that through community engagement and collaboration, we can achieve the goals we desire. By providing resources such as after-school activities, job and trade training, mentoring coaching, and food bank resources. This organization aims to create a positive change. Our mission aims to implement changes where individuals are not just another statistic, but resiliently defying them. Now, let's delve into the future initiatives of Don't Raise Statistics, Hope, Pact, and Myth, all of which are currently in the conception stage. First, there's Hope, or Helping Others Prevent Eviction. This initiative is being designed to facilitate healthy and positive relationships between tenants and landlords. Our aim is to bridge the gap between the two parties, creating awareness about rights and responsibilities, and provide access to resources for communities and families in need. Hope intends to offer a consulting platform for property owners and management companies, creating strategies for community building, transparency, and accountability. Next in line is Pact, short for Parents Advocacy Creating Transformation. This initiative is all about empowering parents in areas where there's a lack of awareness and resources relating to their needs. PACT's mission is to provide safe spaces for support groups, facilitate inclusive family activities and events, as well as opening doors to collaborative projects with schools, businesses, and groups needing support with neurodivergence and inclusion. Lastly, we have Myth or mentoring youth through hardships. This initiative aims to expand the minds of young children, providing them with safe spaces and resources to support their passions and dreams. Myth envisions a world with positive mentors and peer interactions that contribute to personal growth and societal well-being, providing youth access to life skills such as financial knowledge, homemaking skills, goal setting, and understanding the differences between trade school and college education are just a few of Myth's initiatives. Don't Raise Statistics is more than just a name or slogan. It's an ambitious mission to break the cycle and create a positive change in society. Through these upcoming initiatives, Hope, PACT, and Myth, we intend to provide the resources and support necessary to defy the odds and transform our communities. And while it may be currently based in Northeast Ohio, the vision of Don't Raise Statistics extends far beyond the Midwest region of the United States. Our aspirations to assist communities worldwide. This is simply a view into the future of Don't Raise Statistics, a beacon of hope, a catalyst for transformation, and a mentor for the youth, changing lives and making a difference on a global scale. Because in the end, we're no longer just a statistic, we're defying them.
Hello.
Wow, that was really good.
Yeah, that was my first AI video by myself.
That was the first time I've actually seen it. As everyone else was watching in the audience, I was like, this is really cool. So congratulations, Michelle.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you. So well, you're not on video, so why don't you tell everybody tuning in why this is special?
It's always special. Every single day of our life is special. But today, driving down to Sacramento today, and we figured this would be a great time because I live about an hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours, depending on traffic away. And this is a time that usually, like when you're driving or whenever you have that space to be alone, it's a really safe space for you just to think or to learn, to pop in a podcast. So we're like, why not just create one if we're going to have the time anyway?
We might as well.
Yeah, and then it's also to show, it's like, this is Flip the Script, but this is Flip the Script that's unscripted. There's nothing I'm looking at. I don't have a fancy car where there's like some screen that's going to project and have a teleprompter on there to tell me what to say or anything. So this is really an authentic conversation between two heartfelt humanitarians that want to make a difference in the world, but want to make a difference without going by the script, and we just want to flip the script. So that's why today is special.
It's like everybody knows I do my little frameworks and outlines, and I gotta control a situation, and I plan. But I think that what some of them don't realize is that when it comes to you and I on stage together in this moment, not one aspect of it is scripted.
Nope. I could tell you that. So it could go south really quickly, but we'll see. We'll see.
And it has, but and that's like the learning process of it, and I love it. And I think that also kind of ties into what we chose to be today's topic. And look in that mirror. What do you is it surface level? Are you looking beyond what you see?
Exactly. And the only mirror I'm looking in right now is my rear view mirror. And
yes, I love that.
and things may be closer than they appear. Objects may be closer than they appear. And that's sometimes it's like the same thing in real life too as well. Even thinking about it that way is that sometimes when we're looking in the mirror, like you could buy mirrors that like make you look amazing. Like I have two mirrors, right? That look totally different in the same exact room. One, it's like you look like just whatever, not as flattering. But you can look at the other one, it's like, yep, I'm good. So it's like, then you go to your car mirrors, and sometimes it's like a lot closer than it appears. So it's really looking beyond that too as well. It's not just looking at it, but it's trying to stop for a second and reflect.
Yes, you reflected lately?
Oh, I reflect every single morning I wake up. The eyes open up, and I'm like, well, here's another shot. Let's do this. Let's go.
What is today gonna be? Oh my God,
Yeah,
I
it's
love
like, what do you have in store for me today?
I know today was really impromptu too. I was talking with you. Obviously, we talk off platforms, and I'm like, man, like I've been doing a bunch of guest appearance. Like, we need to go live. Like, we need to like get up there. We need to make an appearance because I think that it's easy to get wrapped up in what you're doing with everybody else, and then like you gotta really sometimes take that step back and remember what you're doing for yourself. And like you and I have this amazing partnership in building this amazing platform with what we share as a vision, and I think we just needed to remind people of that today.
For sure. And you've been out there. I mean, I was amazed yesterday. I've been so busy, caught up into other projects. But I mean, just watching to see like how well, you're really how much you've been growing in terms of how you're able to promote on all these different platforms. I don't know how many pages. I lost count of how many pages that you're involved with, or with your having like all this cross marketing going on. But I mean, wow. I mean, like if you see the change within the months, it's been pretty significant. And I'm sure everyone else is seeing the same thing too. So I was just like, damn, Michelle, keep going, girl. Go, go, go. And I'm like, how many more pages are there? But
It's
like,
like for me, like when you're okay, so like every time I see like people doing their videos or even just like creating the infographics, there's always like logos and things, and usually it's these are the people that they're in like paid partnerships or sponsorships, or it becomes something like that. For me, everybody knows like I go against all odds. If it's the 99% doing that, I'm gonna go be the 1% and do this. For me, when you guys see that logo somewhere with me, it's not a sponsorship. It's not necessarily a partnership. It's a collaboration. It is a human soul that I have engaged with on a deep personal level. Their backgrounds, their associate, it's them. And there's that I love. And I'm proud of that. And it's like, why can't it be like a bumper sticker on the back of a car? You're proud of where you went, right?
man, well, go back to bumper stickers. Anytime I think of bumper stickers, we all have that one relative, right? We all have that one relative. I remember growing up, it was a relative of a relative. There wasn't any blood, no blood in it, but it was someone that was really a big
That's my
supporter of
aunt.
like everything in the whole entire world. But I remember her back of her Subaru. It's a Subaru, so that's, I'm not saying anything bad about Subaru. Okay, I love Subaru, but it was the back. I think it was a Subaru. We'll see. Who knows? We don't want to really get mad at people with that. But I remember like the whole back of the car had bumper stickers, and I was like, damn. And I grew up, and I was like, I realized how when I had a car and the dealership put a sticker on the back of it, and it was so hard for me to get it off. I did think back, and I'm like, man, that must have been hard to get them damn stickers off. But like, but she wasn't getting paid from any of those people. That's the point I wanted to make. It's just things that she was passionate about. And it's so tough right now. Again, so LinkedIn is we're going to talk on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is where we met. It's a platform that we're on, but it's like such a huge platform. And what baffles me sometimes is that with how big it is, that how fierce the competition is. And with me, it's like, I'm not really the competition type person. Like, I know me. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and I know that if I go out there, if I put myself out there to do something, that I can go head to head with anyone else that's out there. I'm not really worried about someone else is going to be like, I'm better than you. And I'm like, nah, probably not. I wouldn't be offering a service if I didn't know I was already up to that par. But there's people out there that are just like, they do an amazing job, but it's like, it's that competitive nature just gets the best of them. Like, I can go back to a time when I had a printing and marketing business, and I was like a beast on the forums when we used to pay people that had like a huge post count and put banners up there and do all this stuff. But there was one particular time that I wanted to gain a contract, and it was for a new company. And the person wanted to get like 1,000 banners made with all different size banners for their affiliate program. And I was like, all right, we went back and forth. And I'm like, I had to go. I was tired. I wanted to go eat or whatever it is. I was going to go. I was actually at Jason's house. Um, and I wanted to leave. So I'm like, I'm shutting this down right now. I'm like, all right, we're going to do it for free. And that person I was going against is like, question mark, for free? They're like, that's a lot of work. And I'm like, no, for free. So we did it for free. And what did that do? I picked up all of these huge companies that I now had in my portfolio, and they were bringing me up and bringing me up and bringing me up and getting me all of this business based upon the work that we were putting out there. So people have to understand that even if you're doing something for free for someone, there's something that's going to come out of it. So as long as you put all of your energy, all your hard work into that, and you're really going above and beyond, you may not get that instant gratification of that payment, but something will come up. But
Yeah.
that just goes to show you that, sometimes you do not want to unleash that competitive nature in someone and just let collaboration flow.
Yep.
That's how we all can succeed. We all can make each other better, because none of us are the smartest people in the room. Once we understand that, it's like, all right, cool. How can I help you? How can you help me? Let's help each other. Let's just do this. There's
Yeah.
enough money for all of us to get, right?
That part. And I think I think kind of maybe that might be one of the like factors that set you and I apart from, not, I'm not saying we're better or anything like that, but you and I, the monetization, the financial aspects of it, like, yes, we are in the backgrounds, we're building our business models, we're having our professional collaboration talks, we're doing all this, stuff in the background. But never once, I can honestly, truly say, never one time do I think the money was ever the first thing we discussed about it.
No, never. I mean, there hasn't, the second that you start thinking about it that way, like, it changes the whole entire situation. And that goes to it that, sometimes when people are initially forming, relationships, partnerships, whatever it may be, that there's ulterior motives that are in play. And that, they may say, yes, you're really cool, you're really this, you're really that, but in the back of their mind, they're like, oh wow, she would be great on my team. Imagine what it would do if I was doing work with this person or that person, and how they can really benefit me. So I just think that we're going to go into a great topic, that a nice form you happen to have on your page. But I'd like to learn more about, why do we feel there's a need for us to have some type of a form, and to really start the relationships in a way that you really have, like, you're playing spades with the cards up, right? Like, exactly what's happening. So can you tell me more?
Not many have noticed that new forum link appear.
Oh, everyone,
And
go
then
to Michelle's
actually
page
that
right
new
now.
forum, that appearing, and then the lack of awareness of it, or the lack of critique of actual people completing it, I think will also maybe help people understand why they might send a connection request and I just don't accept it. I have been in the rooms where it's like, yes, you like going in a room, and when you're down in that lounge and you're sitting with like 40 people, you love when that host is up on the stage and they take that time out to individually recognize each person. And I love that. And that's beautiful. But for me, obviously there's deep personal issues of the anxiety it creates with my ADHD, the focus. Like, I would rather be focused and engaged with you and truly present in our conversation than my brain going into overload because I'm worrying about, oh my God, I didn't say hi to this person, or oh my gosh, I didn't, But then what I did begin learning about this is that then connections were growing, right? And but then they're sitting there and you're like, you never get a message from them, or you really take that moment to be personal and allow yourself. Just for me, I have trust issues. So when I'm vulnerable, sometimes it might not be the vulnerability that you get. You get a whole different side of Michelle than anybody. And I'll admit that. I'm not afraid to. But like, other people might only get a sliver. But when I open that sliver, and it's not that I'm expecting something in return. Okay, maybe I am expecting something in return because it's my self-worth. I know what I'm worthy of. I know what I bring to a table. I know what in a true, authentic, real, engaging relationship, I know what I will be bringing to the table and giving to the recipient. And it's not that I expect something from them. I refuse to allow myself to feel not good enough, or did I do something not right? Did I say the wrong thing? I will never let myself get there. And if I'm like being vulnerable enough to like read you connected, now I'm sending you a message because I done went to your page and I read through it and I've listened to you talking events, or I invested time into trying to get to know you at book value, but now I want to know you like what's in the pages. And then you can't even respond or acknowledge, or months go by and you're not there, or if you maybe you were previously connected but then months went by and then you realize you weren't connected no more, and then you send another request and then you're wondering like why wasn't it accepted, things of that nature. And it's like I want to be around the people that are like-minded, that know that we can agree to disagree and that we can collaborate and not compete. So I created a new form. It is the collaboration request. Like, that's simple. It is not a contract. It tells you this ain't the contract. I just want to know what people's intent is with me, because I wear my heart on my sleeve. And once I start giving you my love, like I will empty my cup to pour in your cup. And what I have been learning is that I can't do that. I can't save everybody. And ain't nobody coming to save me. So I really need to protect my inner circle. More importantly, I need to protect me.
Could I interject for a second, Michelle? Your tribe is going to come and save you. You already know that. So
Well, no, this was before,
we we,
like,
we, we, we
my.
may we may have to break through and conquer and figure out where you are, what's happening, what room are you in, because you're in all these rooms. But we'll find you. We'll find you. Okay, go on.
No, that was I was about to add, get to you. Like, that's what that collaboration. That's why it got created.
No, and that's real though, because it's like there's so many times like Michelle and I, like if you go to like our pages, you're gonna see like hundreds of requests for people that are looking for all these different connections, followers, messages, all this stuff. So again, like if I'm ever a little bit slow with getting back with messages, having to do with some of this stuff, it's because we're inundated with that, communication. But yeah, it's like, we just have to figure out, like, why are people really wanting to connect? I mean, is it because you'd like for me to help bring you up to the next level, and then you want to forget about it and say, set it and forget it? It's like, am I going to be like your little oven that you have on your table? Or is it something that you want to build, something that's less transactional and more transformational, that you want to learn, you want to grow with me, with my team? And it's
Right.
like
The team.
that's where we're at right now. We're not at the place where it's about that transaction. I could care less about getting a big deal for a lot of money or whatever, little money, whatever it is, from one person. There needs to be some type of growth out of it. I'm not sitting in some like local store at a kiosk or something like that. It's like we're sitting back where we feel our time is valuable, right? So it's
Mhm.
like, if I'm going to spend time talking to you, there has to be something that we're going to both gain out of it. And if it's something that you just need help with, fine, we're there to show up for you. But tell me exactly up front, why is it that you would like to talk? Do you need support? Do you need mentorship? Fine, we're good. We have that agreement. Just don't start a whole conversation or start building a relationship that's based upon something that's not even real.
That part. Yes. It's like right there. Accountability equals authenticity. Be accountable for who you are, what you want, where you want to be. Like, so much more successful, positive outcomes come from. I would rather. I just had this conversation this morning with someone that is very dear to my heart, and I told them I would rather Keith break my heart and have me in tears with something of brutal honesty than worried my feelings were about to be hurt and trying to sugarcoat it to get me through it. Does that make sense?
It does, and I'm not one for sugarcoating. So like,
It was an example. No, you already not. For the record, he does not
no,
sugarcoat.
we're that's yeah, but no, I understand what you're saying, because we deal, you deal with people all throughout your life that try to just tell you, like, the cup cup is half full, it's not half empty. And it's like, no, I already know. I already know the cup is like, the cup's broken. Man, we put enough Flex Seal and duct tape on this damn cup right now. I don't think we could fix it. It's already
Man, my
gone.
cup's been rebuilt. Okay.
I mean, my cup's been built when it's been like sinking underwater. We're like, nope, we got it. Everything's good. Okay, let's keep going.
I'm like trying, like that Yeti. That's like a exclusive, brand. I'm trying to become a Yeti cup indestructible.
Hell yeah, you need to. That's what it's about. I mean, let's become cups. That's it. Well, I'm going to identify as a cup for the rest of the day. We'll see how that works out for me. So let's.
So where
We
do you want to take this? What aspect of this, topic today? Where do you want to start our deep diving and intimate personal reflection? And for the record, before we do go on, I want everybody to understand, if you want to call us narcissistic or whatever, these are our stories personal to us. We're not doctors, we're not saying we're coaches,
no.
none of that. This is us just giving our story, what we've done, what works for us. You take it as you like.
Yeah, this conversation does not mean that we are providing any type of service to you. We are not your mentors. We're not your coaches. And the words that I'm speaking to you today, yesterday, the day before, maybe tomorrow, they have nothing to do with any other organization that I may represent. So this is
True.
all about real, raw conversation. So
Yes. And we're recording. And we are recording, might be used later. All the legalities. Let's just get them out there.
Yeah, it's StreamYard. So I would say, yeah, let's go into, we're in the platform of LinkedIn, and, you could, and many of the people that are on LinkedIn, they're working at a job, right? And maybe they're also thinking about going into another job, or they go onto LinkedIn so they can listen to music. There's so many cool music listening rooms, right?
Yes.
Or it could be because they're trying to get self-help or like a lot of wellness stuff. I saw that Lisa's on here. Hi, Lisa. She's amazing with really learning about how to take good care of yourself, your body. You have people like Dr. New that are out there providing information about mindfulness.
Yeah, we got.
But
I was saying Miss Kim's doing that dragon.
Well,
I don't want to say it the wrong, but light. Oh my gosh, I'm going to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But yes, there's so many holistic approaches and things. Yes, let me be. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and I think that what's important is trying to find out when you're going to engage in these LinkedIn conversations about what's really going to resonate with you and how is it going to impact you professionally or personally.
Yes. And some people, I think, it's not to say they take it too serious, because you got to. This is your life. You should be taking it serious. But I think that it's very easy to see maybe like influencing or clicky or like, I love everybody until you give me a reason to not. And that's great that you formed this opinion about XYZ. That's not my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me decide for me who I am, what I want to do.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also like there's people out there, like there's so many different like groups that are coming together from these collaborative efforts within LinkedIn. As for instance, like we have like Sharon that's on right now. So between Sharon, Jesse, and Michelle with Thrive Alliance, it's like all that powerful positivity that's coming out there with all that they're putting together. And that all came from simple collaborations that they had within groups.
Yes.
I mean, I remember when we met with them within bringing humanity together and to seeing all of this blossom into something amazing. And like, anytime I think of Jesse, it's like I smile because it's like, man, like he has so much damn energy, man. Like it's almost like he's been to Dutch Brothers and Starbucks and every other coffee place all the time, but it's so much positivity that's like flowing, and it's like it's really just it's amazing.
It's contagious.
Yep. And then going into like Michelle's conversations about mindfulness and breathing, and how Sharon's so passionate about about children and just about really having those deep conversations about also for fighting for people that have had she's an advocate for people that have had access and functional needs or have been treated poorly in the workplace. It's like to hear the passion of groups like that. I mean, that really does it for you. And that could really give you that confidence that you need to build something up for yourself, knowing that these collaborative efforts have occurred based upon conversations on LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
how do you figure out, like, for you, let's just say if you have a bunch of invites to go to different events, how do you decide which event that you want to go to?
Um, Honestly, any event I attend is usually based around my real life schedule. I mean, and I think that that's so like the people that like the collaborations I'm in and the people that support me and that I support you maybe hard you think you hardcore see me support them, it's like I can not show up, but they're okay. Their feelings ain't hurt. It's like they understand, like in real life. I don't think that people like I'm in multiple legal litigations. I have a child with special needs that 5 days a week is 7.5 hours at a hospital. People don't know laptops and mics and things are being set up at a children's hospital hours on end. Like they don't understand if I'm in events, I'm picking them because A, I can't sit in an event that I feel like I'm going to lose brain cells. Number one, it can't happen. I am in events that I could disagree with them, and that's okay because if they're there, they've shown me they can have intelligent, intellectual, deep conversations with disagreement and it not turn into a fight. It's a collaborative conversation of help me understand your perspective. So for me, once I've maintained what's happening here in the present and outside of a digital world, then it's really just like, what is going to be the event that I'm going to go into and I'm going to walk away feeling like I just gathered knowledge or a relationship or I created an impact that is going to be a positive one. How about you?
I don't know if I can compete with any of that, but like, wow, okay, let's go, let's try. We could do this. Yes, I got this. Um, I actually stopped to go get gas so I can get on camera for a second. Oh, wrong camera. Hold on. Well, that's the car. That's me. Hi, everyone. Hi, Mom. I'm famous. No. So this is the road. Here's a gas pump, and here's the orchard.
Oh, the sky looks beautiful today.
Yes.
I love clouds.
It's that beautiful Northern California.
Mm, 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 mm.
Okay, let me
Beautiful.
get my. All right, so for me, I mean, well, we all know someone. We have, like, if you're on LinkedIn and you're in this particular, I guess, our big pond that we're in, part of our little fishes in big ponds, or big fish in little pond. I don't even know what it is at this point. I think the pond's growing though, so
Feels
I
like a
think
farm tank right now.
we are moving towards being little fishes in big ponds because we're expanding. But you could, we always get messages from people like Ennie, the Godfather. Get messages from Kenny. Kenny knows, has his finger on the pulse of like
Flavor
everything. Yeah, I call
Flav.
Kenny Flavor Flav because Kenny, man, I don't even understand how he does it all, but like it's amazing. He really gets you into some really powerful rooms, and you have people like Tamrat. Um, but just thinking about, or there's people like Gabe that put out, the messages letting people know you about other rooms that are happening. Even like I think Leslie does it like every single week. She does something about rooms that you can go to, so you can find rooms like that, or it's any other ones that you're getting invited to, or seeing where your friends are speaking at, like, or friends, colleagues, or however you classify them.
And it's
That's all.
not like nothing against them, but the algorithm keeps you when you're going repeatedly. So sometimes you got to go scroll to find something new and like meet new people doing events. Like it's not the same people.
Yeah, and I agree about that wholeheartedly, because for me, I have to step away. Like, I can't just continue on and go every single day and be online and do all that stuff, because if you're online going from meeting to meeting to meeting and you're talking about all this great impact that you want to make, what impact are you actually making? Just so curious. I mean, how are you doing it? And I feel that, within our generation, that we have so many different types of remote platforms that we're on, that we're constantly meeting. But what are we doing? What
Yeah.
are we out there doing? And it's not about doing everything, it's about doing something. So I really feel if we want to spend this time online, we should have another column that says, hey, this is what, if I'm going to give myself 2 hours credit, almost like an ATM or balancing like your checkbook, right? So you could say, I'm going to get 2 hours of LinkedIn time if I do this to go give back towards, or to reach further towards my goals.
Yes.
I was having a conversation with my mentee yesterday, and towards the end of the conversation, we spoke about level setting expectations about what they can expect from me, or what first of all, what vision did they have for in terms of their timeline, what expectations did they have from me, then what they can expect from me, and then how they can actually move forward. So part of that conversation, I said, I believe that you should find someone that's going to be your accountability buddy, that's going to help you actually push forward. And I'm like, there's another thing you can do. And the mentee was like, okay, what can I do? And I was like, all right, so why don't you do this? We clearly know exactly what the steps that we're going to have to take so you can launch your new business by November. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, all right, so why don't you make a column of all of the things that you like to do to take care of yourself that are above and beyond? Maybe you like to go to a special restaurant. Maybe you like to go shopping somewhere. Maybe it's doing stuff for yourself. And then in the other column, you can put the things that you have to do for your business. And then I'm like, listen, don't cheat. Don't be like, listen, I'm going to go get my hair done and I'm going to do all this other stuff just because I registered a business name, which takes like 15 minutes and $25. That doesn't compare. Go find something that actually compares to it so you're not really treating yourself that well. But it was a great conversation because we all have to take accountability. And sometimes that we don't understand that, we're sitting in that same box every single day. We're complaining that we're not moving forward. We're commiserating with the same group of people that are telling you about how bad everything is in their life or how bad things are, within the world. But what are you doing to move forward? And how is it going to impact you if you keep listening to the same voices day in and day out, and then you're having FOMO and you can't sleep because you don't want to miss another conversation? When do you start pouring back into yourself? When do you actually start taking the advice that we give to our children about their screen time? Why don't you limit your screen time too as well?
That part. And you had brought up Gabe, and I just want to highlight, like, it's like the prime example. I got to hear him speaking in an event. I believe it was yesterday morning, and he was highlighting how he needed the break from the LinkedIn. He had to take time, to reflect on himself, and that when he had left, and then when he came back, what he had noticed was still the same, if not worse. That's when he told himself, like, well, I'm just gonna fix it. And I'm so glad that he did it, because like, for me, it's some nostalgia, because in my mind I think back to like the old box TV that didn't have a remote and you turn knobs, but the TV guide that sat on top of it was like another crucial part. And like, he created like the LinkedIn TV guide. I mean, for me, it's nostalgic. I love it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
But that's an example of it, outside of us. Like, you can see people on this platform, and it's not saying that they're bad people, but it's just like, just because who you are as an individual and what your purpose and what you're doing doesn't align, doesn't mean that you're immediately a competition. It doesn't mean you're immediately an enemy. It doesn't mean that you can't have an acquaintanceship or a friendship. But I've experienced that really personally and firsthand, and it is exhausting, and it becomes almost like, I mean, do I, Keith? Have I not told you? It's an emotional roller coaster where there's been moments I've almost been in tears, and then you're like, Michelle, who are these people to us in this, what we're building? Like, and I've had to stop back and reflect.
I agree. And sometimes that we just get so caught up into like our feelings in terms of like who we feel people are based upon their profiles itself, but now we're not really thinking about who they truly are or what impact they're really having on our life. It's like, again, we pour into so many different people based upon, wearing our hearts on our sleeve. But how often does that come back to wind up biting you? And, thinking that when you're trying to put other people's feelings ahead of your own. About instead of you pouring into your cup, you're almost empty because you're pouring into the cup of all the other people that you're meeting online because you feel that you need to.
So
But
the
it's like
question
when
on the screen, it says, when we peel back the layers, what do we truly see in ourselves and others?
I can get back to that in like one moment. Could you answer that one first?
Well, I think for me, it's not. I mean, I peel my own layers every day. I wake up with my gratitude. I wake up knowing I'm fighting a fight and I'm in a battle, and I reflect daily and I peel layers daily, and I try to educate and evolve daily. I think what has been important for me is that I see in myself someone outpouring the love and the support that I desperately seeked, that I needed, that I never experienced, that I didn't know where to find. I think that that's who I am. That's what I do. I give what it is. I deep down internally and emotionally and mentally crave.
Thank you, thank you. I I think it's hold on once.
See, this just shows everybody. No script, raw, unfiltered.
Yeah. I think that sometimes when we're pulling back those layers too as well, that um, we get we get a little bit. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're afraid of pulling them back, right? Because we're afraid of what we might see. We're afraid of what others might say if we start pulling it back. If we start letting down our shield our shields that we have, right?
Hmm. It's being vulnerable. We might cut out for a minute, y'all. He's obviously restarting.
Yeah. So, but I think that it's pretty like it's interesting when we do take that moment to let our guard down and we're willing to be vulnerable and to pull it back and to say, hey, listen, like let's just say even LinkedIn, it's like, okay, I read your profile. I see how we align. Like, I really see it. Like, it's there. It's like, it's evident that there's something there. But when do we actually take the time to really just dive a little bit deeper? So instead of just going to someone's room or any of this other stuff or interacting with them, it's about learning more about their profile and seeing if the profile is something that's more scripted that they made up to try to go do whatever they're doing online, whatever product or service they're selling, or if there's something that there's a real effort that they put behind it, that it's all this real information, right? Is it verified? Right? So, and it's not verified just because somebody has a high post count, because if you want to know the secret to having a high post count, just go into rooms all around the world, go up on stage, say a couple of nice lines, and tell people to connect with you. There you go.
It
um,
works.
you could just become a connection collector,
Yep.
and
We've
you can
seen it
just go.
work.
Yep, go build that post count, and all of a sudden you have that instant clout, but it's not based upon who you are, what you're able to achieve.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, when there's people that are not peeling back those layers, that's when they're going to get hurt, because then they're going to feel that this person's going to be the end all be all. They're going to save them and be able to do provide all these services, but they've never done the services themselves.
Yeah.
They said they have, but they're selling a product or service that isn't real.
Hmm.
I mean,
It's so true. It's like I can I want to be transparent. I will forever be authentically true to who I am. And it's taken many months, but it's almost like you have to have a whole new learned skill to be able to like go read profiles, go scrub their pages and see what they're posting and who they're supporting and how they're carrying themselves if they're on stage and events, and then like another thing that I've been more maybe sitting back becoming aware of are Do people in events act differently based on who they're entertaining from the stage?
I think so.
It's I think that I think, and that's why I love the way we handle the room. I'm gonna go back in comments. I'm going to acknowledge you were present throughout the show. I'm going to go to the DMs. I'm gonna send you a private message and say thank you for supporting me. You know, but the people that truly love me and support me know I'm not about to be here right now, so busy looking at my phone or trying to see who's in a lounge or like that's just not who I am. But the people that truly love me, they know that. But they also know people that come in like I'm gonna be me every single time you come in the room. Like this is what you get. And I think I'm more thankful for the people that come into my DMs and ask that hard question about, hey, did that felt like a cold shoulder from you? I respect that person more than the gossip mills, if that makes sense. And then we do have a special soul on the backstage to just let us know comments are not coming through. So I'm just going to try to see if I can find some.
You may have to go to the LinkedIn page itself of the post.
Yeah, I really
But
probably
while we're doing that with the gossip bill, I mean, I think that sometimes people need to just I don't know, they need to just stop, pause, and reflect, which is something that's like really important because people like to talk before they think at times, and the stuff that they actually say, it's like you wonder, did they actually take time to think about it? And I don't know. It's like I think when people don't understand who you are, when you're coming up from nowhere, or if you're going into their circle and they're feeling that you're a threat, all of a sudden they want to start running their mouth and they want to start talking and saying whatever they could say to make themselves look better than you, right?
true.
We've all seen that. I've heard stories too as well, and it's like I start laughing. I mean, like, are you serious? Like, what? Like, what did that person say? And I was like, all right, cool. But the thing is like when you know yourself, when you understand who that is going to matter to you whatsoever. Anyone could say whatever the hell they want. And you're like, all right, that's good. Good for them. Because when they need to start speaking that poison into the air, you already know there's something wrong with them and it's not you. It's like, I always go back to the book, The Four Agreements. And a lot of times people will take things to heart when they hear that type of stuff. But it's like, hey, listen, that means that somebody else is struggling out there. And if you take the time to stop for a second, pause and reflect and think about that prior to being reactive and responding to them, just try to understand more about where they're coming from. And maybe there's just like, they're confused. They want to understand more about you, or where you're coming from, or whatever you said. It could be something like where there's a difference because some things get lost in translation. Just take the time to just speak about it instead of just letting it just go on and on and on and never speaking about it and creating this own beef in your head. Like there's a lot of times when we're competing with others or we're in this race, or at least we think we are, it's all in our head. It's all things that are occurring based upon, all these our brains are moving so quickly, and all of a sudden we're in a war with everybody, especially if they're not aligning with us or agreeing with a comment that we said, right? So,
It could sometimes it'll feel like being a kid that like your parents are being divorced. And like now I've never experienced it, but I've heard many stories. It's like being pulled between the two. It's like, what do you do? Speechless. No, but
no, my phone is like, so the area that I'm at right now, it's like I'm in the middle of one stoplight towns, or maybe more than one stoplight, maybe 3 4, but like all these like little towns in the middle of actually getting back to um, the big city. So
Okay.
I'll
I am.
actually I'll actually
Yeah.
stop
Oh,
at one point.
let's see.
But I get what you were saying though, and it's like sometimes you feel like you're being pulled in multiple directions when there's groups that aren't aligning with each other and they're competing. And it's like, man, which way do I go? And it's like, your family, your step family. It's like, no, I love you, no, I love you, no, I love you. And it's like, which way do I turn, and how do I make everybody happy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's and learn like that it's like it's almost like in the community though, if we're dealing with things, it's about one thing about being a facilitative leader, it's another thing about coming to the table with diplomacy and being able to just really maneuver yourself out of it, but also going back to the favorite book that we like to quote on, The Art of War. So under, understanding how to act properly too as well, and really not to put yourself out there, but to try to just move very quietly.
Yes. So let's see. I'm trying right now to get these comments. I have to I didn't remember. Obviously, I don't remember my LinkedIn password. I had to come onto my phone into the passwords. Like, what am I? When did I changed it when that update thing ruined airports, and I apparently didn't remember what I changed it to.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad one. Everyone was like, could not do anything.
I ain't even hacking my own freaking LinkedIn with this password. I would have never got this right. Oh my god, that's crazy. But yeah, so let's see. Let me get this next question pulled up here. I think that what I had a really good one saved in this banner. Hold on one second. Let's see. All right. I put it in the wrong. All right. Listen, y'all. We can't see them. I'm not gonna spend this whole time trying to locate those. Just know, I will answer questions. We will do a part two. We will. I don't know how, but so let me go look at this banner real quick and pull up another question for us. See where we're at. Why do you think it's why do you think it's really essential to be exploring the deeper meaning behind these things though? If what I guess as a personal aspect and as that engagement aspect. Like, why do you feel that that is important to go deep into it?
Well, I think some people are going to tell you, like, first of all, thank you, great question. Um, I think some people are going to be upfront with you, where they're going to, and they're going to give us a gentle pitch slap. so like, so they're going to tell you like, hey, there's going to be a pitch, there's going to be something on this, so you know exactly where they're going at. But a lot of times people are having these full out conversations, and at the end of it, it's like, well, now you can do this and now you can do that, and I'm going to be able to help you because you can join me today or tomorrow if you join for a low price of $9.99. And if you get one of your friends, it's going to be only $4.99 for both of you to join. So it's like, um, let's. I think that's why it's really important, because like I've gone into some of these rooms and I'm just sitting back for a second, and like, because I got a link from somebody, and all of a sudden I'm there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show appreciation, recognize people, do all this other stuff, and hype them up. And all of a sudden, at the end of it, it's a pitch. And all of a sudden, I'm at a timeshare meeting in Florida trying to go get some Disneyland tickets. So like, or whatever. I mean, like, I feel like all of a sudden, then I'm going to say, no, I'm not interested. Then the rebuttals are going to come along, and then they're going to keep bringing different people to me. Well, hi, I heard you're not interested, but if you join today, oh my God, do you love lobster? I love lobster. Oh my God, there's a place you're going to go to today after you sign up. And guess what? This is my friend. My friend's going to go with you too. And guess what happens after? I feel like that's how some of the meetings are. Some of like the rooms that I go to, that I'm just waiting for my lobster and I'm waiting for my VIP access to the club. So
Right.
like after I purchase something for only $9.99. So
No.
I think that's why it's really important to dive deeper and to understand more about that person. So if you want to try to hire someone to be a coach, a mentor, whatever it is, or to go to them for advice, learn more about them than they had one great line during some meeting.
Yeah.
Anybody could be good or great for a few moments. But what are they going to teach you? What are they going to tell you? And it's like many of the people that are out there, they're probably one step above you or maybe a couple more. So it's like, find out where you want to be, but also realize what your options are, that you could find free mentorship out there by recognized agencies that have certifications that are able to support you without having all any of those ulterior motives, except for building you up and giving back.
It's almost there's so we all know that you're not on TikTok. Okay, I'm trying, y'all. I'm gonna get them there one day. But listen, so there's this TikTok I seen recently where the guy he was I guess talking to some girl, and he told her to pull up, and he told her to do it her natural self. But then when she pulled up at her natural self, he started recording and flipping out because she ain't look like what he's seen on social media. And I feel like for me, like that's this. That's that digging deeper. And why, like, the importance of it is everybody puts on these masks and wants to make themselves appear the best. Do you know what I mean? Like they want that instant first impression to be absolutely the best it can be. Where me, I want it to be the worst it can be. I want to know somebody is my ride or die because they're going to be in the storm and they're going to be the one there while I'm crying, letting it out, versus the one that, because I didn't put on that sexy dress and do my hair and makeup's on point. I don't want those people. Does that make sense?
And it does. And that's, it's funny. It's like, even in the online world, we've all been there, online dating and stuff like that, where we feel like there's such a connection. But it's like anybody could have that connection when someone is, when they're in the right circumstances, when people are researching you, they're looking at pictures of like all your friends in social media, and they're looking at all these other influencer videos. They're making themselves out to look like something they're not. They're going to get their hair done. They're putting on this makeup, hiding all their blemishes. They're buying all these other types of anything from Kim Kardashian to go get get everything all together. And like, all of a sudden they became that person that they want them to be. The next self. Then what happens? Then it's like, I thought you were this, but you were that.
Yep.
I'd rather, just like you said, I'd rather know exactly who you are and, have those honest conversations with you. Be vulnerable with you to say, these are the parts that I love about myself. These are things that I want to work on. Would you like to work on them together? Would you like to go to the gym, or would you like to do that, instead of trying to really create this whole entire persona? And I love that you said that because, again, I've been in the online industry since oh my God, I am old
Don't
AF.
tell our
But okay, I've been there, okay? But but I've been in everything you could possibly imagine, from like, affiliate programs that were making multi-millions of dollars, credit card processing, anything. So like, However, it's like people create this persona underneath a moniker. They hide behind that moniker, but that moniker is something sexy. It's provocative, and it's making people think. And they're getting into people's heads by living that alternate reality that they have. And there's many people that are introverts that need to do that because they're not comfortable with themselves. They don't have a strong they could have, I don't even know. Some of them may not have a strong inner self focus where they may think that everything is against them instead of taking accountability. But anyway, but those particular people are out there and they're among us and they're creating this whole entire other persona that it'll resonate with us, yes, but it's not going.
So there are a few valleys where Keith is that he'll
wind up
cut
just
in and out.
Funds that are transferred, they're still going to be the funds that are our time. It's that gift of time that we're giving them.
That's the mom life. Sorry. Had a kid and a dog about to walk in the screen. So apologies. That's raw and unfiltered, y'all. So what you're saying though is yeah, it's I would rather know up front how muddy I can get in the trenches with someone before going to the trench. like I want to know. Keith might be in his little drop zone, y'all. So I was just seeing this. So when he's on his drive, so where he's at in Northern California and then where he's going to, I think that there are 3 specific areas more towards the end of his drive that he loses and goes in and out of his transmission.
Yeah. And we're back.
And there he is.
Yeah, we're literally driving through. But let me see if I can do something. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, we're getting the visual. There we go.
Now y'all are truly driving along.
Okay, so here's our next question. How often do we let the pressure of time limit our understanding?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Your Bluetooth is going to make the echo, but it says, how often do we let the pressure of time limit our understanding?
Let me shut off the video because apparently can't do 2 different things. So I think
there we go.
This is a great question, and I think that when we have limited time to really dive into a person or a topic, and when we're just someone sends us a message or join this room, and we don't research who's actually there on stage or who are the people they're friends with that are in the audience, the other people that have signed up, we could wind up setting ourselves up for failure, really. And I think that time, we're all rushing against time. We're all on limited time within our life, and especially with our days that are just filled with so much, work and all of the commitments that we have or we feel that we have. So we could meet our obligations that we feel. There's a lot of we feel. There's not a lot of obligations we truly have, except to our family and to our close friends. But everything else is something we feel or we would like. It's not something we need to do. But I feel that winds up going into putting us into a circumstance where we're not really operating with both feet on the ground, and we're not providing, answers that are really thorough. And there may be some rooms that we want to really keep ourselves out of once we figure out the overall agenda.
I definitely see. And this is where I think you definitely have, once I say what I say, I know we'll get some amazing insight because you literally walk what I'm about to say with me multiple moments of a day. And that's that, like, I have been in the position where I physically have lost everything. And then that I had to allow myself to experience the emotional and the mental and the spiritual effects of those losses, to then be thrust into lawsuits that take anywhere from 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9 years to even get to a point where they can potentially be resolved. But that resolution dictates the outcome of my life. And I had, like, you literally, like, you go through this with me on multiple. There's some days that, like, I had to get that pep talk many times through the day, but then we can maybe go like 10 days, 2 weeks, and not even have the conversation. But then those moments come where it's just like, for me, I think I'm at the other end of the spectrum compared to most other individuals, where I truly have had to learn to sit with having no control over any time, if that explains or helps at all.
It does, and thank you. It's excuse me. Um, this is what's happening when you try to drive without having your air conditioning on. Oh my God, it's hot. So, I'm trying to have less sound. Um, yeah, it's tough when you have other people that are in control of your time and you really can't set your schedule the way that you want to set it. And I think that, when we have matters that are open and, their outcome could really, change our course, that it's tough to move forward when you have things that you have unfinished business. So I'm hopeful that, your outcomes are going to come a lot sooner than years away, but it's just understanding and having that patience and that grace that things will happen in the time that they're supposed to happen. And then it's not to really put yourself down for it when there's things that are out of your control. There's only so much that we can control in life.
Right. And I think, like, it's important, like, one of the ways that, for everybody listening and, like, just hearing what they heard, like, what Keith does for me and what makes, like, our relationship intimate and personal on those levels is that he is very non-judgmental and understanding of my situation. And a lot of people like to try to give me unsolicited advice or, ideas and recommendations that I'm not seeking, because, like, they don't understand the extent or the depths of the situations I'm truly battling. And the one thing that that has set you apart is, like, the level of the relationship that you ask those thought provoking, soul searching, deep, intimate questions, that when it's almost like we could just be in our conversations about, like, the next podcast or the e-commerce or the apparel line, like, wherever we're at in a business talk, and out of nowhere it's like you could just be like, Michelle, your mental's not right. Like, and it's like, that there's something, and 9 times out of 10 it ends up being one of the aspects of a court case I have no control over, or one of, it's like, but it's also like, you got to have that village around you that is able to see in you what you can't see yourself, because you are just so overwhelmed, if that makes sense.
It does, and I'm thankful to be around, to be able to be there to support you. And again, it's like, many people come to the table because it's just like the reason why our communities around the world are so messed up. It's all of these subject matter experts that are like, I am here to save the day. And, like, they just think like they're just flying in there. They're like, people are like, oh my God, this is happening, that's happening, this happened to me and that happened to me. They're like, shh, they're putting their finger over their mouth. They're like, don't worry, I've got this. It's like you can picture it, and it's like they don't let people talk. And sometimes you just have to sit back and you have to actively listen, and listen not just because you're trying to go figure a way of maneuvering your whatever your product or whatever you're trying to sell into them, or the group that you want them to join, or whatever it may be, but you need to really just be present in the moment. And that's sometimes all that people need. I'm thinking back to when I was in the credit card processing world, and my business partner, like, they had, like, companies that they purchased all throughout the globe, but I dealt with retention. And I only had probably under 10 people leave after, and they didn't leave because I just spoke to them. That's all they wanted, was a conversation. And it wasn't about lowering their basis points or whatever else we were doing for them. Sometimes it was crediting a PCI fee or whatever, some type of a statement fee, reducing that from 10 to 5, whatever it was. But typically it was just a conversation, or it was giving them my phone number, direct phone number, or direct email. So if they had an issue with a chargeback or whatever it was, that they could speak to me. So I retained the portfolio, and then that portfolio went into my book. So I got paid out every single month.
So, like,
Thousands of
real quick,
dollars a month.
I seen a comment did just pop up on the screen with is Dr. CJ. She said, "What's on the menu? Is this a music room?" So our mobile edition, Dr. CJ, is because Keith is driving from one city to another city. Keith, you gotta mute.
Yes, we could do a music room, but I think it would be pretty bad if I started singing right now, and then I don't know how the sound would work. Our sound would probably be pretty horrible. But yeah, we could sing.
And somebody said,
Okay.
I can't read the name of I don't got glasses on, but I do. Thank you, Keith and Michelle.
Oh, that was
Genuine
Teresa.
dialogue. Curiosity abounds, bringing clarity. I need to get my glasses on. This is whew. But I think I just lost my mindset. Oh my gosh. See, that happened. Raw and filtered. Oh my goodness. I think that it's just, I try to be vulnerable and trusting at a phase where I'm at in life that's what I'm most scared of.
I get that.
And that's it. Like, I'm terrified of trusting people, and I'm terrified of my vulnerability being weaponized against me. And that's so, like, and reflecting, like, and looking in the mirror and going beyond, surface level. That's where I'm at. Right now struggle with the deep under, the surface, like my vulnerability being weaponized against me, and allowing myself to truly and fully and authentically trust people. It's on you, Keith. I so know y'all just saw that, and Keith is probably in a drop zone. Oh my goodness!
No, I'm here. I'm here.
So the whole picture just fell from behind me.
Oh wow.
I think my chair hit it.
Got it. So I would say, yeah, I think that's another big thing too, as well. It's about, weaponizing vulnerability. And again, I came out of a long-term situation where, that was like business as usual, weaponizing vulnerability. It was like, so tell me this or tell me that. It's like, now I know. But it's like, you have to figure out, like, who you're talking to. Are these people really in your corner? And, like, what are their motives for the questions that they're asking you? And I think that when it comes to a lot of this online stuff that we're doing right now, especially like with LinkedIn, that you're dealing with people that haven't actually taken the steps that they need to take within their professional or their personal journey, and they're utilizing that information that you're giving them to help them skip those steps without taking those courses or having those professional experiences. um, and they're trying to basically one up you by you actually helping them and helping to move them up to the next level. So I've seen that before, and I could say that, like, there was, like, so years ago I was an expert. So when the White House's website was hacked, it was called the Code Red Worm. And it said hacked by Chinese. That's what it said on the website. And I was called on as an expert for out at MSNBC Live with Chris Jensen and Greg Jarrett. And there was things that I didn't understand because there was new revelations that came out. And I had to even go ask for some support, right? From one of my good friends right before going on the actual call itself, because he learned something through some back channels. Sometimes we may not understand everything fully, but we need to be vulnerable with people and let them know exactly our why. And it's not just calling up and asking a random question. It's why do you actually need this help, and what are you going to use the information for?
I think that that's a big thing, is that it's what are you going to use my words for? Because I've had some people take my words and then unannounced just slap me in the face with my words, as if that weaponization. And that's a brutal reality to have to experience when you're already dealing with traumas and things internally, trying to heal your trust issues, but then to, like, have it weaponized again. Like, it's brutal.
I agree, and it's tough. I mean, when you're trying to navigate these waters and you don't have that much time to really learn about people, then all of a sudden you're jumping on all these different shows or whatever you're doing, and it's like all of a sudden you're just like, you're helping this other person you know gain that traction based upon the influence that you're providing them and your support. And you really need to know exactly what type of person you're dealing with prior to doing that, so then they're not just trying to utilize your name and become a clout chaser and, like, just tagging you all over the place just so they can wind up making sure that their business is going service, or just them.
And then
Some
it's like,
people are
could
just
you even
looking
ask?
to.
How many times do you, like, this is one thing, like, when I'm tagging someone in something, they literally most likely received a phone call or a DM before it happened. Like you this morning, I was talking about you and Resilient Elephant and the chat bots and Chat GPT, but you was sent a message like, hey, I'm gonna tag you in this. This is what I'm doing. Like, how hard is it to be that respectful to somebody, even if you know it's okay what you're saying, or, all in a good thing? Like, like I did it all last week. I'm reaching out to people like, hey, are you okay if I use this logo sticker here? Can I say this here? Like, how hard is that?
No, Emma, you're funny. So, like, um, and that's part that I don't even know how many times a day we talk about this very topic, because I don't know. I'm just all out there. But I have some friends of mine that are like true professionals that are just like, no bullshit. Oh, I said I wasn't gonna curse. Oh, I said the S word. Okay, my bad. There you go. So we had a curse word. If you have
YouTube
children there, we're sorry.
King.
I owe $1. I'll give you that dollar. It's Venmo. Okay, so I think that's what you could do is that you can actually go to your LinkedIn settings and you can make it so people cannot tag you. So you can
That's
actually
interesting.
take back control of who's tagging you or any of that other information
I think I'm gonna
until
need to
you get it together.
Now, I love what Dr. CJ, I just see one of her comments across the bottom. It says she's going to take my words and she's going to make me an international best-selling author. And I will say the book is coming out tomorrow. And she did just that. I love it. It's so exciting. And then that's the thing. Like, you know who authentically and genuinely and selflessly and just it's such the conversations are pure and there's intent and if there's not intent, like it's known, like we're joking right now, this is not a serious conversation because like people like that's another thing, Keith. Everybody thinks it has to be business, serious, how many times do we actually cut it up versus professional?
Nah, it's not as much. I mean, and these conversations, like to have these conversations like this, we're not sitting back over here. There isn't some. You're not going to buy a plan with us for only $14.99 a month, where you're going to be able to log in there and you're going to get all this information coming to you live on all the different platforms. We're not going to be doing that today. I may start singing some Jason Aldean after this too, but it's not like that. This is all about just really helping us all, like flip the script and like get or break those like break out of that box that we've been in. And it's like I've been talking about breaking out of boxes for years. Like,
and that's what Susanna, you got to get with Miss Susanna Dawn breaking out of some boxes. She has nailed it.
Yeah, I remember when I saw that initially when Dr. New had shared that, because like, so back in I think it was like 2020 or so, whatever it was, I did a whole show with Brian Kelly on Humans First about boxes, and then I did one with Chris with bringing humanity together. Like a couple weeks later, we did another series for breaking out of boxes. I'm really all about that, getting out of those boxes, but it's like. What was I saying? So it's
How
just
many conversations, like, think about, like, and this is, I think, a great example to, like, for everybody listening to know. You and I, many people want to come collab with us. They get in our DMs, they let us know, and I don't think that people realize that you and I literally will have, like, probably 2 or 3 independent self conversations with these people. And then we end up getting, the video meeting scheduled where it's you and I with the said person. Like there's usually like a good 6 or 7 or more conversations that have taken a place that are even business related before we even come together for that business talk.
Yep, it's not just about that one-time thing. It's really finding out what people want. Like, and even some of the projects that we're working on behind the scenes, it's not just about just getting it done and making it a transaction. It's about making something where there's going to be growth, where you're going to need to have a significant team. It's about this one project that we have right now that'll hopefully it'll continue relatively soon, but we're going to have probably one of the top all hazard apps that's going to be coming out there that's going to help out with not only weather but resiliency in communities. It's going to log into emergency centers, go into social media. Like there's like actual like big projects that are happening, and it's not just like, like you may see some of it, you may see like interactions at the homeless camps and stuff like that, but there's programming that's being built behind that so we can get out there, we can actually do the job. So it's not just about talking about
Substantial
it.
and sustainable programming.
Yes, sustainable. So not just about like I'm going to go do it one and done, or just going there once a year just so everybody can say, hey, well, we have achieved our metrics, we're doing great, smile for the photo.
Right. Like if somebody really thought what they seen you do at the that homeless encampment was it, like how mind blown are they to know that there's like 5 grant funds being submitted, requested. Like that's the thing, they like people, you get keyboard bandits, that's what I call them. You get these keyboard
Yep, the
bandits
keyboard
that
warriors
don't.
are out there, they're in full effect. Hide your
Right.
children, hide your wife, you better watch out. The keyboard bandits are coming.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. It is so true. It's like it's I look in the mirror and I think what's important for me at the end of the day, you get 2 visions of yourself. You wake up and you look in the mirror and you need to be grateful for the day that you've been given to experience again. And you need to like really set that intention. And then when that day is ending and you're looking in that mirror and you're getting ready to do what you do to go down for the night, like there's that gratitude again. And then there's like that moment that if you did your best, I do my best so that I know I did my best. I tried to live without regret. And my reflection, I don't want to see a glimpse of the broken, damaged Michelle that I have invested decades to heal. And you can't stand in front of a mirror looking at yourself if you are not willing to be honest with yourself about those deep, ugly truths, that the ones that you hide that you don't even want people to know. Though my most ugliest truths are the ones I want to be put on the table off rip. I don't never want somebody to use them against me. You want to go pull up court records? Great, do it. You want to go find old pictures? Great, do it. But if that's who you believe I am today, we ain't got nothing to discuss.
I love that. You know, you probably know what I'm going to say right now. So this is going back to like what I just thought of is my conversation with the city manager one time when we were trying to deal with the homelessness issue, the unhoused population, and he's like, well, they're upset we did this, they're upset we did that, and everything, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, stop for a second. And I'm like, can I speak with you? Kind of like me speaking with you, and not like just anything else. And he's like, yeah, go for it. And I'm like, you know Eminem? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, why don't you just treat it like a rap battle? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, all the things that you've done wrong before. You know exactly where they're coming from. You know how you could have did things differently and how you would like to do it differently. Why don't you just actually bring this up and speak about this? So there's not going to be the reporters or the citizens of the community that are coming up to you and then calling you out on it. Tell on yourself first. Let this be your battle that you're going to win. And he's like, wow. He's like, that is powerful. And I'm like, now do it. Thank you. Talk to you later.
Own it. I own it. I own every horrible decision I made. I own every great decision I made. I own it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like we could take that responsibility, and I see Dr. Khan said, "No guts, no glory." Yeah, I mean, it's like, no risk. The higher the risk, the higher the reward usually too as well. Or scared money don't make no money. No, however you want to go, wherever we're gonna go with it. But it's like, you need to be out there. You need to be authentic. You need to be willing to take those risks and just to put all your cards on the line and just say, this is me. This is
it okay
this is who I
to
am.
tag all the co-authors in Rebel with a Cause? Okay, so Kim, we were not bashing you, and I was not talking crap about tagging and not that's just me. I'm only giving my own perception. If Kim, there are people on this platform that will tell you, if I had a problem with you tagging me, it wouldn't be being discussed like this live. We would have had a conversation. We are just in talk. So if somebody doesn't like it, then they should reach out and tell you not to do it. Or like I just learned today, there's settings you can apparently control where you're tagged. That's great to know. But it's not, this ain't, this isn't directly for specific people or things happening. Yeah, tag me in Rebel with a Cause because I'm that international bestseller author, Miss Kim. So yes, tag me. That's all I'm gonna say. Sorry.
Yeah, and I get that. It's like sometimes you don't want to. I mean, you don't want to be tagged in some picture when you're doing something crazy from when you were a child on a professional platform. Maybe not. I don't even know. But but anything with me, it's like really. I think the second, when I started acting and doing other stuff, it's just everything becomes public. It's like, all right, well, what do you want to know? Go to Google, enjoy. Like go search.
I still haven't Googled you.
That's good. Don't Google me. That's fine.
Haven't done
We
that.
don't need to. We don't need to go. We don't talk about Googling, Keith. So, yeah.
Yes, feel better, Miss Kim. That was listen, Miss Kim. No, this is just Keith and I get on and we don't use script, like we just talk. And with today, it's just looking deep in yourself. And there's some people that only want to tag you when they feel that it's going to elevate them, it's going to monetize them, or something about who you are is going to be beneficial to them. Now, it's great to be tagged, but for me, I am very guarded and very protective of my relationships, like you. And, like we have, when you form those bonds, like those are special. But some people that want no interaction with you on intimate levels feel entitled to those bonds. Should that make sense? So, Keith, where you at with all this? I don't
I'm,
have my back. What do you think? Okay. I encourage all my co-authors to tag each other, and if you have a problem with that, let me know. You shouldn't be part of my yes, right. Right. Like we got our intimate circles, and then that ain't, so yeah, Miss Kim, that is not by any means. We're talking like, like it's almost like the rap battle of the comments and the tagging and like, let me put this person's name here because I know it's gonna get them seen here. And it's not that it's not always okay, but if you don't have a relationship with that person, like with Keith, like I can do something and then I'll go to him and tell him I did it, but I still just made it a point to express what I did, and it might not have been done before it was done. But there's some people out there that they should really talk to you before they use your name. That's what I was trying to say. I think Keith's gonna agree.
Keith's here. Keith's here. Keith is back. Guess who's back? Back again.
Back again. No, do you agree though? Like
No,
some people
I
can
I
use
agree.
really like username and flag it. Some people can do that, but then there's other people like they should definitely get permission before using your name. Your thoughts, Keith? Or,
If I was in my city where they have like the rant and rave page where they just take pictures, which is like passive aggressive, but taking pictures of people's parking jobs and posting it so they can complain about it, or it's really funny because it is so passive aggressive. But it's like I wonder how many incidents have occurred from that itself, from like people just being like really mad at someone posting their car.
it's just it's like a clout chasing. Like what can like for me, I invested a decade learning SEO and how to embed hashtags and things to like get myself where it's at. And then it's almost like the moment you start tagging me in the things, like all that comes to you. And I'm not hating on it. I'm not upset about it, but I'm just saying, like, if you're getting like that's like a reflection of me. What if I don't agree with what you're tagging me in? What if we don't even talk? What if we don't even have an engaging, dynamic of a relationship and you just tag me in it and it's something I'm fully against?
No, I agree.
And then it really for me is just the respect. That's where it's at. Like it ain't even about using my name to get whatever. It's the respect. Cause I try to do everything with complete respect for all human life. I think he made it to the office, y'all.
I can change my camera, maybe.
I was
Hold
gonna say, right? We might get to see him.
on. Maybe. Okay, we do exist.
You're not a bot. You
I'm
just
not a.
create them.
I am a coach though, so but
I
at
think
least
you're a consultant.
that's what it says on the wall. So, but here's
I
our
hear
adaptive video that we were
you.
playing at the beginning. It's always playing like nonstop. Okay, it's on an energy cycle thing, maybe. So anyway, we are here. We are live from Sacramento.
How was the drive, sir?
It was interesting. I'm a what?
So we're been at it about 90 minutes. We're gonna be getting ready. Now we gotta end that.
You
Probably
muted me? Why did you mute me? Am I being bad?
it was echoing.
Maybe it's because of the space, or maybe because I had it against the part. Is this better?
No, it's so when I'm talking, there's an echo. So I'll just mute when
No,
when you're
I'll shut it off. I can manage this. We're good. I'm sitting. Let's go. So, all right. So yeah, back to the tagging part. I mean, like, yeah. So if people aren't comfortable with people tagging them, you can go into your LinkedIn settings. You could change that up. And if you don't want people to post you in any type of news or any type of articles, do that. Or if you don't want people to see when you're changing your profile to as well when you're updating it, you could take those settings off as well. It's like really, there's no need. You don't owe anybody on the platform any just anything. I mean, like, let's just get back to it. I mean, like, really.
yeah, that's what I knew. So when I muted,
And we both muted at the same time. It's like, this is great. All right. So okay, you can talk now, Michelle. Let's see
I
if
was
you're
just saying,
still
no,
there.
you go ahead and talk with it for a second. Let me like refresh. I'm gonna drop off and I'm gonna refresh it and come back in. It might have been that.
It's probably me. We'll just blame it on me. I'll take that. But no, it's great to be here in front of everyone, actually be on camera. Appreciate y'all being here with us today. And just looking forward to continuing these conversations with you. If you have anything that you would like to bring up for a future conversation, please let us know. I'm going to let you see some of the books that I really love. See if I can actually mess with my camera. Hold on one second. Settings, camera, back camera. So some of the books that I love, of course, we all love Melissa Hughes. So if you are not familiar with Melissa Hughes, definitely go check out her work that she has there. She is amazing. She has some great neuro nuggets. This is from Mike Vacanti. This is the person that was in charge that actually created Humans First, along with Kevin Monroe and other members of the team. So that was a group that we were a part of before. Another book that I love, Dare to Lead, Brene Brown, of course. The Oz Principle, cool. Leaders Eat Last. Here's a funny one. Who Moved My Cheese? And then also the Strength Finders too as well when you're trying to really discover your strengths. This one, it always goes last. It's How to Work with Almost Anyone. Another cool thing, okay? Like when we were talking about people that just make profiles up and all this other stuff like that, it's like, learn more about the people that you're working with. Like I don't really talk about this stuff. I'm also do Six Sigma work, Lean Black Belt professional. My work with FEMA, trained with FEMA, Six Sigma champion. And these are just some of the materials that we hand out to people in need, from like the Code Red Alert, or if they needed to talk about CalFresh or SNAP, or what we do with the Adaptive Strategies Group, helping the veterans, things like that. But from some of the posts that we've had before, do more of what makes you happy, of course, except this is the funny part, is when someone said, what if what makes you happy isn't good for you? Okay, I didn't think about that first when I put the post out there, but yeah, don't do anything. I love this one too as well. Be kind, work hard, stay humble, smile often, stay loyal, be honest, travel when possible, never stop learning, and love always. But there's just all different things that you could do to really just stay positive. Something so important too as well is luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Michelle is back right now.
So is this any better? I hope so.
Let me take myself. Let me
And we
fix my
got
camera.
Cody. It's usually right here. We're coming up to that 2-hour mark, and he's letting.
Yeah, we're coming up on my hair.
That's cute hair. It's okay.
It's okay. It'll be fine. Everything's
Yeah,
gonna be fine. Be grateful too as well. And think happy.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of, when we are looking in that mirror internally and we're digging deep, it is so important to remember that we are setting the tone for our mindset. We are the ones in control of that, and what we think is ultimately what we're going to become. What is it? Uh, yes, exactly.
Yeah, so it says one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. So important. And also, I mean, Semper Gumby, everybody. Semper Gumby. Y'all need to be flexible. Be flexible.
You have a Gumby on the desk.
We have Gumby here, man. I come from the emergency management world. Everything's about Gumby. I even have a Gumby costume too, as well, for Halloween. Everybody, going to do a Gumby edition.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. And was it Pokey? Gumby and was it Pokey?
Yeah, Gumby and Pokey. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, see the nostalgia of it. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Yes. I
Oh my
love it.
God. But we are going to be back into the whole entire lab. I mean, this is what we're going to be doing is, so if there's any conversations that you'd like for us to have or any topics or any support that you need based upon the profiles that either Michelle or I have,
Turn your phone off.
please feel free to reach it. What?
Turn your phone off.
Where? Which
Turn
way?
it sideways and let it readjust.
What? It is.
Oh, you have your screen rotation probably on lock.
Yeah, we're locked. We're locked and loaded. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is who we are. I think
So
my
what do you
camera's
got going on this week? So I thought a lot of people I don't think kind of have noticed that you and I take turns. So you and I had a talk a few weeks ago, and you're like, I really need to get some things done, and I've been doing a lot of public face things, and obviously this week was a lot that many don't have a clue in my personal life that but you've been able to balance your personal life, so we're going to kind of be taking that switch here soon. So what do you have coming up in the next week or two, and what's going on?
Great. So we're going to be great. Thank you for all you've been doing, Michelle. This has been amazing. So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be again submitting for multiple grants. We are going to be working on homeless programming for the homeless. We're completing our 240 GPTs, which will be launched by the end of this month. Plenty of great GPTs that Michelle has been sharing, but we're putting out some pretty cool ones. We're also building something that's going to probably be one of the most powerful all hazard applications that'll be available on both the Apple and also the Android platforms, and also for a web version as well. So we're working on that. We've already finalized all of our steps that we need to take in our budget, and we are working with some potential donors, and we're also going to be applying for some government grants to get that completed. So we'll see how that can go. It's going to take about 3 to 4 months. We're hoping to actually be in a very, very soft launch by November, because we've already signed up for all the APIs and all the Java and all the other stuff that we need to do. So we're going to start testing it out and showing people the power of really collaboration. The difference with this app is that we're going to offer white label solutions for different companies and states, where it's not just going to be one particular brand that's going to be out there. It's going to focus more on their community itself, so they're going to be able to gain acceptance and champion. One thing people don't get is that, that unity in mission. Everyone's out there trying to compete with each other, like, I'm the best, no, I'm the best, no, I'm the best. And it's like, when your mission is strong, you just want to make sure someone's out there doing it. It doesn't always have to be your flag, your business card, your title out there. It's about just getting it done and seeing these results. So that's the difference. And that's what Michelle was leading into earlier in this conversation, is that when we're putting up different logos or imagery for other organizations or companies, we're not doing it because they're giving us funding for it. It's because we support them. We care about them. We're passionate about their mission, and we want to see them succeed. We want other people to know that there's options out there for them too as well, where they can find positive sources that could light their path. So that's why we're doing it. It's not just for that. Of course, funding is needed too, which is what I do behind the scenes. And I'm working with different educational companies and things like some really big stuff that we're working on behind the scenes, so we could build up those just just have that passive income that's coming in after we're developing our courses, and just a bunch of fun stuff that's happening in the background. But anyway, we just appreciate you being here with us today, and we're looking forward to future conversations. Back to you, Michelle.
And I like how you really, because like Keith and I each bring something special to the table, and we each, and then, Keith has, this team behind him, and there's a team behind me. And that's like the biggest thing, like, especially with today's topic, that we really just wanted everybody to realize is that you're in these events, you're in on different platforms, and you're in all these engagements, but like, what tangible outcomes are there? And everybody wants money first and talk about, well, how do I benefit with this? But at the end of the day, when we're building something that the money obviously has to come in to support it, because this is a globally changing movement. But I think today's culture and world has literally gotten to the like, they expect instant gratification, and they don't understand that when you flip a coin and you go into that darker side that's not lit up, that's a whole different world of navigation. And like, I wanted people to listen today to take away that their words and their actions can be very influential on projects in a negative light, that maybe they don't mean it, but maybe you need to look in a mirror and be more aware of what it is that you're doing and how it does affect other people. Maybe when like somebody's telling you what they did to get through something, or what business, avenue was successful for them, maybe you should look in the mirror and understand that even though you don't agree, or you think that that's not the way to do it, or your way is the way to do it, maybe you should look in the mirror and realize that your way is not the only way. You don't got to be condescending. You don't need to be, hypocritical. Like, be open to just listening. We got two ears and one mouth for a reason. And that's me. That's like what that was my intent.
Yeah, sometimes we just need to think about it. I mean, what we're saying at that moment could be really powerful because it's lifting us up. And at the same time, when we're lifting people up or lifting ourselves up, we could be tearing other people down.
Yep.
So it's about understanding that, when people are willing to be vulnerable with us, when they're willing to share their feelings, their past, that we need to just take that in for a second and just say, oh, well, I knew that. And I kind of figured that that's why that person is the way that they are. And all this other stories that we're just developing in our head.
Or do a Google search.
Just Google search it, man.
And then see what Google tells them is the truth.
And then if it's on the internet, it must be real. And if it's on your LinkedIn profile, it must have happened. So yeah, again, accountability, authenticity. I love that. And I think that more people do need to hold themselves accountable. And, again, there's only so much in your life that you are in control of. So don't beat yourself up if you're unable to navigate some waters that, have nothing to do with you. And it's not up for you to try to control other people's lives that are, even if they're on your team. You can give them the guidance to try to help support them, but it's not up for you to actually do all the moves. So I just think, as the question again on the screen, it's like, how can vulnerability be a strength in building authentic connections? And when you're vulnerable with someone, they're going to realize that you're really showing up. It's just like a job interview when they're telling you, tell me a time that you let your team down, or any of those questions like that. When you come to the table and you're like, well, actually, there's never been a time. I've been perfect my whole damn life. And I don't know what you people heard before, but I'm great. That's why y'all need to
return to sender. In the words, you need to return to sender.
But there's people out there that are really like, that they're going to keep living behind that mask. And it's like, when you make a mistake, it's like, listen, just own it. It's like, no matter what you're doing, from leading a large operation where you missed an email, or you let a partner down. It's like, call the partner up and say, listen, I messed up. we're going to do better. We did it. Our team couldn't make it today because this A, B, and C happened. How could we show up tomorrow? Let's start planning for it today. Let's get the media behind it. We're sorry. We're going to make this right. It's about owning it. It's not just covering your eyes and saying, you can't see me. Everything is fine. It never happened. It's about truly just owning it and just saying like, yep, that was me. We messed up. Let's move forward.
Yes. And I would rather somebody tell me that they messed up than deflect it and like try to be, like I said, like that mask that
Yeah.
they do no wrong. Because let me tell you what, you know how much I mess up in life. I mean, granted, like these years have gotten way better and less, but like, I mean, that's how we learn and grow and evolve. And like, that's how we really become a better human being, is to learn from those mistakes. If you don't learn from the mistake and then try to do something to correct it moving forward or to give a better impact to the future generations coming, like that's the true failure.
It's like, what's the purpose? It's like, what are you doing it for then? If you're not going to actually learn and grow and admit it, just stop and saying, I messed up.
Yep.
It's like we've all been there before. We've all moved quickly where we thought things would work out fine. You get into some business arrangements and then realize the person they weren't who they said they were
Yep.
initially. And it's like, all right, well, where do we go from here?
Mm-hmm. That's the only way to start creating. Like, we want to create the ecosystems where the vulnerability and the trust and the impact outweighs any type of ripple that could come and potentially derail it. And it has to be deeper than worrying about the money and worrying about the volunteers and worrying about all, like, it has to start with yourself. If Keith and I were not the humans that we are today, we wouldn't even be where soft launches are in November, where there's e-commerce is being built, where
Yeah.
there's none of this would even be in existence if we really was to be holding on to all that negative failure. How many people are, Keith, how many people have I sent you screenshots in my DMs, like telling me how I'm doing wrong or what I need to be doing, or how many times have you gotten a screenshot?
Yeah. I mean, and it's crazy to think that it's like there's so many people that think they understand your story. It's like they're looking through the world through your set of eyes, that they were there to be there for all those moments. People are just showing up when they're being opportunistic and when they're just like, yes, they're like, something good is going to go happen in your life. I want to be by her side until that point in time so I can go wind up celebrating. And then I can also, be a part of that and maybe get something out of that person. But how many people are actually showing up authentically? And I know what's great is, of course, we have Noni here. We know that she's definitely damn well doing that. We know Dr. Constance, of course, all day, every day, is showing up for you in so many different ways and always like to be like one of your biggest cheerleaders out there. But you got to find your tribe. You got to find the people that are out there for you and that are truly there no matter what. They're not just building up their, like, what is this? Their journal. they're not just, I'm not pulling out the Michael Kors one that's in my
Dear
bag in the car.
diary.
Yeah, my diary. So like, but we need to just find those people that are out there for the right reasons. And
Like, who are you showing up for that you know has absolutely nothing they are capable of giving you?
I think everybody is capable, regardless of where you've been before. Like, I can think about all the different businesses I've had, and some of them have been in the worst places you could possibly imagine, in areas where cops wouldn't even get out the car, and they'd be like, "You good?" Like,
I'm great.
cops were afraid of getting out, right?
I'm great.
But it's like you meet people from all different walks of life, especially when I did bail bonding and fugitive recovery. It's like I met some of the people that were some of the top, crime syndicates or high levels of, like, wherever they were on the table of organizations, and bailed them out and whatever else, took them to attorneys, learned a lot, learned too much. But even those particular people, there's so much that they can do for the world. Of course, once they stop doing what they're doing and they move forward and they're willing to provide that education to people that have gone down the same paths or could go down the same paths that they've gone down, to get them out of it, to show them there's other things in life that they can do, to use their skill sets, their how they like to do business, or they're good with numbers or money making or whatever it is, that they can actually flip that whole entire thing around into something where they can make a positive impact in society. So it's not discrediting somebody, and it's just like when we were at the homeless encampment weeks back or a month ago, I don't even know, thinking about that and about the gentleman that we met, Danny Boy. You know, he was in prison for 20 years. He had tattoos all over his face, and it's someone that you typically would probably be a little bit scared to go up to in the middle of the night, you know, like, and it's just like, you'd be like, oh my God. But, you know, when they were telling me to walk away, I walked right towards them, you know, but we had that conversation, and y'all had like a great conversation together. You know, he was admitting, like, you know, where he's been, what happened to him, what led him to that point, and saying that he wanted to do better. He was going through detox. And, you know, it's just like, he had so much valuable insight that he could provide to the people that are out there, letting them know that there's still a chance for you. Even if you're still locked up and you have a couple more years, you're going to be in there for 20 years, that there's going to be time for you when you get out to move forward and do the right thing. So I think that we need to, you know, suspend our judgments, let our biases down, put our shield down, and just truly show up for other people and respect them as we'd like for people to respect us and our family.
Yeah. And then, like, for me, like, you know, when we're getting here to these closing thoughts, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but it doesn't need to be done with expectation, because that's where that disappointment is going to come. Because the moment that you're doing something, expecting something, the moment that expectation doesn't happen, that's when you're going to fall short. That's when you're going to be, you know, set back to the what, the why, what did I do wrong? That's where the questioning comes in. And, you know, and my takeaway on that is that, like, you know, to just genuinely go through your life and just, I had to stop. Basically what it truly was I was expecting me from other people. And I've learned there are very, very few Michelles in the world, and it's just not gonna happen. And I think that for me was a very critical, you know, turning pivotal point, was to know, like, I don't do anything I'm doing expecting anything in return. I only expect to be a better person than I was the day before. And that's it. That is my closing thought of today.
Well, and I agree. It's like level setting those expectations with people and letting them know that, like, this is who you are, this is what they can expect from you, and not just thinking that they understand it because they've been in your circle, they've been a connection of you for years, to think that they understand exactly who you are. It's like, oh, they must have followed along, they must know who I am. Treat everyone like it's all brand new,
Yeah.
because you could have a different level of following that they do. You don't even know if they follow you. They could just be a connection for you. So give people the benefit of the doubt, give people grace. Think that people all have, you know, the best intentions when they're going out there trying to connect with you. And if there's something that's bothering you, if you see something, say something. Don't just let it just sit and fester. Just like, you want to just speak about it. You want to get past that moment, because by you harboring this hostility or having any of these other types of negative feelings, you're really taking time away, and you're taking all that positive energy that you could put into impacting the lives of other people, instead of just being stuck in your own head. So evict all of that negativity that you have in your head and focus on just sharing all that positivity with everyone else. That's what we need to do for the weekend. It's all about just like taking a breath for a second, realizing that maybe the past week, the past month, the past year, our past 10 years, whatever it is, it may not have gone as how we would like for it to have gone, but we can move forward from there. And let's do this together, where we can flip the script and make a difference and realize it doesn't have to be business as usual.
Right.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everybody. We are so thankful that you tuned in. If you made it from start to finish, that is amazing. Our DMs are open. Don't expect instant. We do the best we can and responding, and it is. It's flip the script, and this is what we do. And we are appreciative of all of you.
Well, thank you, everyone. Until next time.
Until next time, we are going to end the stream.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.